So think of these lanes as a spectrum. The stopping distance is a factor of both of these things. And do not use your phone, just like how that guy was doing. Hey folks, hope you are doing good. Welcome to another bright day. So today I'm going to be talking about how to drive on an expressway. Especially for the first time drivers, driving on a high speed road, be an expressway or a highway or a freeway, it can be quite an intimidating experience. So let's talk about few things that you should be taking care of and that can help you achieve more confidence while driving on an expressway. So we'll start with the pre-drive checklist first. So since you're going on a expressway or a freeway, obviously you're going to cover some good amount of distance, right? So make sure you have ample amount of fuel in your car. The next thing that you should be looking out for is the tire pressure. Make sure you have ample tire pressure, and especially it should not be exceeding the recommended pressure, because over time, especially in warm areas, the tire pressure will also increase along with your distance, because tires do get warmed up and the air within them will also expand, thereby increasing your tire pressure. So make sure that you have good tire pressure, the recommended tire pressure. The third thing is you should have your mirrors properly adjusted. So right now I can see right behind my right side and on my left side over there and directly back or directly at the rear of my car. So make sure your mirrors are also adjusted in a similar manner, wherein you can see immediately right, immediately left and immediately behind your car. And last but not the least, even if you have maps, do get a general idea of how your route is going to look like, from what all landmarks you will be passing, so that you'll have a rough idea before even going on that road, and you can plan your exits and entrance accordingly. Even if you have something like Google Maps or Apple Maps, even then you should be having some general idea of how your route looks like. And as you can see, there is an expressway right in front of me. The cars are speeding through it. So the next steps we should discuss about how to enter an expressway. So yeah, let's start and get over there. So before you actually go on to an expressway, you need to understand how the lanes work. For now, let's start with the leftmost lane. So that is basically the slow lane, and usually that's where you will see the exit and entrances. Because when you are about to enter an expressway, you'll need some time or some distance to kind of get up with or get caught up with the other vehicles that are already there. So in my case, I have an entrance coming up right on the left. And now from this point onwards till we reach that expressway, this is an entrance ramp. So use this to kind of speed up or speed down depending on your speed, and try to match your speed with the oncoming traffic. So if you see on the leftmost lane, I can already see vehicles that are passing at certain speeds. So try to look beforehand and see if you can find a good spot or not. So in my case, this bus came up in the left lane, so I had to use middle lane directly. But otherwise, what you have to do is you will proceed on the leftmost lane only for some time until you speed up. So this is how you merge and get onto an expressway. Now let's talk about how to actually drive on an expressway. Like I said, the first thing is to understand the lane. If you're going on a gentle cruising speed, you should be on the middle lane, because this is what it is supposed to do. The leftmost lane is for slow vehicles, and the left shoulder is for emergency, or if you want to, let's say your car breaks down, you want to just take a left or stand somewhere, that's where you do it. and on the right side we have the overtaking lane. So right now this section is quite squeezed up, so you won't see the lane traffic being followed, but as soon as the expressway starts again, there you'll see that we have multiple and different lanes that are distinctly marked. So rule number 1, drive in the middle lane and go into the fast lane only if you want to actually overtake. See, those guys are doing it correctly. They are on the leftmost shoulder, right behind the leftmost line, and they have placed a hazard triangle. Although it should be further away, but still fine. Coming back to the lanes, so think of these lanes as a spectrum of speeds. So on the leftmost side, you'll have the slowest vehicles, so let's say 2-wheelers or 3-wheelers or small cars. And on the rightmost side, you're supposed to be at your fastest. So that's where you will overtake. And if you want to just gently cruise, you have to use the middle lane. People think that it is hard to drive on high-speed roads like an expressway compared to the city roads. But I think it's usually more comfortable driving on expressway. Why? Because things are more predictable over there. Everyone is going in a straight line, mostly at least. And you have some ample space also to react, or if you want to take a turn, you can do that as well. So things are like more in, in order on an expressway. Also avoid like accelerating or decelerating very hardly. Nice. We're back. You shouldn't be changing lanes this drastically, so that let's say you're driving on the leftmost lane, you give an indicator, then you go to the rightmost lane directly. This is wrong. This is not recommended. What you should be doing instead is at a time switch only one lane. So let's say if you are in the leftmost lane and you want to go to the rightmost lane, so instead of just going directly, give an indicator and come to the center lane. Now drive on it for some time, then again give an indicator and then move to the rightmost lane. Also, one thing that makes the expressway driving kind of dangerous compared to the city driving is the actual speeds, right? Because everyone is going at a higher speed compared to city roads, and that's why we're carrying more momentum, which can lead to more damage if not controlled. So what's my recommendation is, try to maintain at least like 2 or 3 seconds of distance between you and the car in front of you. So let's say I pick a point, let's say that lane marker is coming up, and once this white car crosses it, I'll count how much time it takes for me to reach that point. So let's say it crossed now, and it took me around 4 seconds to reach that same point. So that means that safe distance was a good part. So once you have that visual idea, try to maintain that safe distance between your car and the vehicle in front of you. Also, other thing which most people do not talk about is you should be trying to maintain that same distance between you and the car behind you. I know that's not in our control directly, but let's say if someone is tailgating you or they are running very near to you, try to switch lanes. Let them go, because they might be in a hurry or they are just being aggressive. That's why they are sticking onto your rear bumper. So in those cases, please do let them go. Because what happens is, let's say you are cruising at some good speed and something immediately comes up in front of you and you do emergency braking. In that case, the rear vehicle won't get enough time or distance to react, right? Because they're already sticking up to you. So do that to keep your vehicle safe. Not just theirs, but especially yours. So to summarize, maintain safe distance between the vehicle in front of you and the one behind you. Try to keep it at least 2 or 3 seconds of distance, and with more speed, let's say right now I'm going 70 kilometers an hour. But let's say if I would be going 80 or 100 depending upon the road, I'll need to maintain even more space between me and the vehicle next to me, so that you get enough time to react and then your car also get enough time to actually stop. Because ultimately, the stopping distance is a factor of both of these things: your reaction time and the car's ability to actually come to a halt. Another small pro tip: so whenever you're going to change lanes, you'll indicate, right? So it's not like you'll indicate, you'll start your indicator and you'll just turn. Don't do that. See, people when they are driving, it's not like they are entirely focused on your car only or your indicator only. They'll be looking probably on the left side or on the rear side, but they will eventually do look at your car. So give them some time. So that's why once you start your indicator, let's say I want to go right, I'll give it now. I'll wait for like 3 or 4 seconds just to make sure that the driver behind me is aware of it, and then I'll gradually move towards right. I'll do that again. Now I know I want to go left after crossing this truck, so I've given indicator beforehand. I'll wait for 3 to 4 seconds. I'll see if the lanes are clear, then I'll slowly and gradually move towards the center lane. So that's how you execute a lane change on an expressway at higher speeds. And you'll see certain aggressive drivers also will try to overtake from left, or will just keep flashing or honking at you. So in those cases, you just change your lane and let them go. Because that's the most peaceful and the best way to deal with such aggressive drivers. Don't try to block them, or it might lead to unnecessary problems or even road rage. Now there is some distance left before I actually exit this expressway. So meanwhile, let's talk about emergency situations. So cases where you might be in an emergency, especially on a high-speed road such as this one. So what you should be doing in that condition? So first of all, like I mentioned earlier also, the lanes are kind of a spectrum, right? So the slowest speeds are over there and the highest speed is over here. So when you're in a emergency condition, obviously you want to halt and take a stop, right? So what you should be doing in that case is, first of all, try to switch your lanes and get onto the leftmost lane as soon as possible. I mean, don't cut it directly. You have to still follow the gentle rule that you have to give indicator 3 seconds before and then slowly switch lanes one at a time. So do that and try to come up to the left lane as soon as possible. So once you are over there, now you'll see there's a solid line running, right? So that's the left shoulder of this expressway. And if your vehicle has any issues, let's say you ran out of fuel or charge and you want to stop, so try to stop on the slowest side. In our case, this will be the leftmost side, even across that shoulder, and try to be off the road as much as possible. Yeah, so as I was saying, if you want to stop in an emergency situation, try to get to the leftmost lane and then cross that shoulder line and try to park your vehicle as far away as possible from the road. So in this case, I can see there is some off-road patch beyond the road also, beyond the tarmac. So you can park over there. But even if there is not enough space, try to park behind that line, just like that car. And once you have parked your vehicle on the leftmost side, even after the shoulder, what you should be doing is, so every car is included with a hazard triangle. So you might remember that red triangle, the red reflective one. So try to keep it like 100 meters before your car. So let's say if I'm going this way and there's a car somewhere after this, so their triangle should be notifying me first that there is a vehicle breakdown few meters ahead. And it should give me enough time to react just in case if that vehicle is not properly parked, or if it has abruptly stopped on the road itself. So in that case, you should be putting a triangle some meters back, so let's say 100 meters around, so that you can notify the other oncoming drivers, which are obviously at higher speeds, that there's something wrong up ahead, and they can be more careful, especially during night time. This step is unskippable, I mean at any point of day, but especially during nights. It is made reflective for a reason, right? And do not use your phone, just like how that guy was doing. On an expressway, since you are running at high speeds, you should not be getting distracted even for a second. So all these things kind of help you, gain confidence while driving on an expressway, and be confident that if something happens, you will be able to handle it. And all the expressways or freeways have some sort of emergency numbers, which basically are there to help you out in case of any emergency with your car. Let's say your car broke down, or maybe you ran out of fuel. So in that case, they can help you. So be aware of that also for the road that you're traveling on, and you should be good. Now let's come to how new drivers can approach the expressway for the first time, or any high-speed road for that matter. So I'll suggest, first of all, try to get confident at city roads, because that's where the most chaos is present, and if you can navigate through that chaos, if you can predict how people drive or what all obstacles you can face, that is the best thing. The other thing is, instead of going on an expressway for the first time directly at the steering wheel, try to go with someone or a driver who is actually an experienced driver. Sit on the passenger side, see how the driver navigates through the expressway, learn from their actions. And this is something you can see on my videos also. I post POV videos just for this, so that you can see how I navigate, how my mirrors are set up, how the traffic looks around me, and how I navigate. And then once you feel confident enough, try to take a very short trip. So once you go to a 100-kilometer trip on your first day, make it like 10 or 20 kilometers. There is an exit after every few kilometers anyways. So for the first time, try to practice for a shorter duration of such roads, maybe 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers. Get the feel and hang of it, of how people work around you and how you should be facing these roads. And once you're confident, then from thereafter you can take longer roads. That's my suggestion. I mean, if you feel confident, you can go even for further distances for your first time. I mean, now this video looks like how to actually navigate the traffic, but what to do? This expressway usually ends like this only for me, because this is Monday and peak hours. Also, this reminds me, if you want to actually drive on an expressway for the first time, avoid peak office hours, because that's where you see the most traffic and most chaos. So instead, try to go, let's say, on a weekend or during daytime where there's less traffic. So you can become more comfortable with you first, with your car, and then eventually you can get comfortable with other vehicles also. Let's pull over, talk about few things, and then sign off for this video. I've already given indicator. I've already slowed down. This is kind of like an exit only. Again indicating that I'm going to exit the road. And we have exited. Yeah, so that's how you drive on an expressway. We discussed how to enter the expressway, how to actually drive on an expressway, and how to eventually get off the expressway. So to summarize, always use indicators to indicate that you're going to change your lane. Give some buffer time. It's not like you'll just switch on an indicator and just make a turn. Don't do that. Give indicators, let it go for like 3 or 4 seconds, and then start turning. And in that also, do not just straight away go from one lane to like 2 other lanes. Just change one lane at a time, gradually and slowly. Maintain safe distance so that in case of emergencies you have some ample time to react and actually stop. Since stopping is not just a factor of you pressing the pedal, but also how your car is able to brake, right? So that's why both of these factors need some time. So maintain like 3 to 4 seconds of safe distance between you and the car in front of you. That's all for the today's video, folks. And yeah, do let me know if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.